Okay, so we are talking about fasting and specifically intermittent fasting because fasting can mean all sorts of different things depending on who you're talking to. For the purpose of this, it's going to be for your health and fitness benefits, not religion or anything like that, obviously for health and fitness. And we're talking about intermittent fasting. That can be done in a lot of different ways. So, a lot of times when people think fasting, they think you're not eating for an entire day. That is one way to go about it, where you eat pretty normal for 5 days, and then 2 days, it's called the 5-2. You don't eat like anything, maybe 500 calories for those 2 days. And then there's a window of fasting that you will do each day, and that's kind of what I'm going to talk about because that one is the easiest to adhere to if you are going to go the fasting route versus normal eating, healthy eating, flexible dieting, whatever it is. So there's always a window for fasting when you're fasting all day. And typically a good spot to start is going to be an 8-hour period. So you're sitting here thinking, okay, what are you talking about? What is fasting? Fasting essentially is not eating for a certain amount of time and then eating within a specific time frame or window. So when I say 8 hours, basically I'm saying that you don't eat anything for, that would be 16 hours, and then you've got 8 hours of eating, hence 24 hours. That's one full day. So what you would see would be fasting till about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you eat from 12 to 8 p.m., and that is your window, and you're done eating at 8. People also have different opinions on if liquids count as fasting. Science, I've found research says no. You can drink coffee, water. Obviously, soda is going to count, but calorie-free drinks are going to be okay. Tea, things like that. So you can have that outside of your eating window. And again, I said 8 hours is a good place to start. Typically, you want to cut that down to about 4 to 6 hours in a perfect world. But if you're new to it, definitely start with 8-hour window and see how it goes because it's a shell shock to the system. I'm going to kind of talk about it here. I've got my notes per usual. I want to talk about the benefits of fasting, both physical, mental, and then we'll kind of hit the negatives. So the physical might sound really boring, but I am going to hit them because I do think it's important. As you guys know, I believe that the physical and the mental part of health always come together in some fashion. And that's the same with fasting. So the physical benefits of fasting is that you lower your blood sugar levels and you lower your insulin resistance, which helps promote blood sugar control. And so if you are at risk for diabetes, this could be a good option for you to obviously get that blood sugar under control. If you have diabetes, it's the opposite. It could be bad for you because you're only eating in a specific window, and obviously you need to be eating throughout the day more. So you always want to talk to your doctor first if you have any kind of medical condition before trying a new diet such as fasting. So that's my take on that. The other benefit is that it does fight inflammation by decreasing it in your body. So if you have less inflammation, it means you're less risk for having heart disease, cancer, and any other type of chronic condition. Because obviously inflammation is not good for the body. We want to have that lower, and fasting can help that. So with that, it improves your heart health because obviously if you have lower inflammation, you're at lower risk for heart disease, which means your heart is typically going to be healthier. Let's see. It can improve your brain function by increasing the generation of nerve cells to help enhance your cognitive function. I don't think there's studies on humans on that. I think that's only with animals. I could be wrong, but I found some stuff on that because it does reduce your inflammation, which actually aids in preventing neurodegenerative disorders. So what does that even mean? It just means that if you want your brain to stay sharp and functioning well, this can actually help with that. The big one that you guys probably are thinking, okay, well, this is boring me. Maria, you're boring me. It helps aid weight loss and it boosts your metabolism. How? Because it increases your levels of norepinephrine, and that plays a role in your metabolism and weight loss, as well as increasing HGH, human growth hormone. That plays a role in growth, body comp, cell repair, and your metabolism. So if you're increasing both of those by fasting, you are going to, over a elongated period of time, you will see more benefits with weight loss, fat loss, and obviously while maintaining a specific muscle mass. So it doesn't happen in a week, 2 weeks. It does take, I think studies say 4 weeks is kind of where you start seeing and feeling those benefits of fasting. So now that I'm done boring you with the physical part, kind of talking about the negatives as well as the mental, tying them together. The negatives that I've thought of would be that there's a high dropout rate because, like I said, it doesn't happen in a week. It takes 3, 4, 5 weeks to kind of adjust, and it's not for everyone. The downside is that there are a lot of initial adverse side effects, such as your digestion is probably going to be like, what are we doing? You're going to be hangry, really hangry. You might get a headache, you might get the chills, you could get a cold, you might get sick, you never know. I know it sounds horrible. It's like one of those commercials where like, take our pill, but here's all the side effects. But I do promise that after a while, your body will adjust to it. But the thing is, that kind of goes with the negative is that there's a high dropout rate with fasting. And why? Is because a lot of people are like, they do 3 days and then they're like, oh, I'm so hungry, I can't do this anymore. I'm just gonna have a quick cheat breakfast or lunch or late night snack, which is out of their allotment for their fasting hours. And it basically kind of puts you back at square one, just like with the keto diet when people have their little cheat carb days. I'm gonna tackle that topic later on another vlog, but you do need to do it consistently to see results. Just like with anything in life, you're not going to follow macros, you're not going to follow paleo, you're not going to go to the gym. You're not going to see any results unless you do it consistently, and I am a firm believer in that. So there is a higher dropout rate for that. And then another negative that's also kind of a positive is the social aspect. It can be a negative because, let's say, again, your window is from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. You've got a 6-hour eating window and your friends all want to go out for breakfast. You're kind of screwed because you are fasting and you can have coffee and that's about it. But on the plus side, let's say your window is 2 to 8 and your friends all want to go out and get drinks and have dinner. You don't have to sit and eat a piece of chicken or a salad because you have enough calories saved, we'll say, for that dinner to have beer, pizza, whatever you want. So it has the negatives of that sometimes it can be kind of detrimental in terms of social aspects of eating, but it also has the positive where you can go out and be like, I'm going to eat what I want and have the freedom. And kind of with that, sometimes I will say that if you don't even count your macros, do not fast. That is a horrible idea because if you've never counted macros in your life, do not do this. Because what it does is you're going to restrict, and then during your window, you're going to be like, I can eat anything I want, and you're going to eat 6,000 calories, and it's going to turn into a binge disorder instead of something that's beneficial. If you do count your macros or have an idea of what you're eating, it's worth trying. I mean, why wouldn't you try it if, I don't know, it's worth trying. It's not for everyone, but if you're counting your macros and you go out and you've got, 3,000 calories to eat for a window of 6 hours, you're going to have some fun with that. Versus if you eat it throughout the day, 3,000 calories, it's going to be a little bit more structured meals and healthy. But that doesn't mean that in those windows that you can't eat healthy still, right? You don't have to go and eat a cheeseburger. So lastly, that's another benefit is that you don't have to give up unhealthy foods. You can go out and eat without feeling like you went over your macros or ruined your diet because you have those macros saved up for your fast. It is good for those with a busy schedule. If you work shifts from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., try it. Don't eat and then eat after that instead of having these little meals and then thinking that you're failing. I would say I'm running out of time, but I do think it's good for those with a busy schedule. I love it. I've done it for 5 years and I don't have any of those weird adverse side effects. I actually really enjoy it. And yeah, so I would just say give it a try. If you are someone that has to eat and you know you're someone that has to eat, don't try it. Find something else that works for you, but at least now you're educated on different options and you can make the right choice for you because every single person is different, but don't knock something unless you are educated about it and have more info. So